Hello class! Today we are going to have an extra special lesson on DC Universe Classics Clayface versus Batman, the Fists of Clay figure pack. Now why is it special? Well, let me tell you. It is because we're not going to do just one figure or the other figure. We're going to do both figures in one lesson. 2 at once. So it might go a little bit long. You better go pee now if you need to, because I won't stop and wait for you later. But we're going to do 2 figures, and why is that? Well, because, you know what, either A, I have to film 2 intros, one for each figure, and I'm lazy, or B, we'd have one figure with an intro with all the box and stuff, and the other one without, and that would kind of suck too. So, we're going to do 2 at once, and we're going to see how long I can ramble on about a couple of figures without totally losing my train of thought. It's going to be epic. Now, you see there, we've got our warning, there's a choking hazard because of small parts. It's probably because of the batarang and Bat's hand right there. Let's see, on the side here, there's, I think that's Orion, I think. I could be wrong, but I think it's Orion. On the other side here, on the back, we have a picture of Batman and Clayface. Clayface looks like he just hit the sauce, because he's kind of stumbly. Batman looks like he just cleaned out the septic tank, and he's a little bit pissed off about it. He's probably sitting there going, hey, Clayface, quit clogging up the toilet. If you don't stop clogging up the shitter, I'm only going to buy 1 ply. No! So, he's Batman. He can get away with that, too. Anyways, another set we can pick up if we so desire. We've got Batgirl and Azrael. Although I'm not sure if those are DCUC kind of figures, if there's something else. But the Azrael looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind picking that up, because I like Azrael. So, we're going to talk a little bit about Batman. His biography. After witnessing the murder of his parents as a child, Bruce Wayne dedicated himself to protecting the lives of the innocents. He took up the mantle of the Bat to strike fear into the hearts of criminals. While he leads the life, of a corporate executive by day, as night falls, Bruce becomes the Batman, leaping from rooftops armed with an arsenal of gadgets on a crusade to protect the citizens of Gotham City. There you go. So, his statistics. His real name is Bruce Wayne. If you did not know that and you're watching this video about Batman, about an action figure that is Batman, get out. Go away. You're expelled. I can wait. Okay, all the non-believers are gone. Let's see. His occupation is industrialist, philanthropist, playboy, vigilante crime fighter, but only by night. He only does it at night because Batman's nocturnal and he's afraid of sunlight. He's got pasty white skin. Maybe he's Irish. Anyways. His base of operations is Gotham City, and his first appearance is in Detective Comics number 27, way back in 1939. And his special skills are Master Detective, Expert Scientist, possibly the greatest martial arts expert in the world. Now, I'm sorry. Bats is awesome, don't get me wrong. I like Bats. But best martial artist in the world, I don't know. Like, seriously, does that mean he could take Chuck Norris? Because really, I mean, it's Chuck Norris. And I'm just not buying it. At any rate, over here. We've got Clayface. His biography. Initially an actor in horror films, Basil Karlo. And what the hell kind of name is that? Why don't they just call him Boris Karloff? Went mad when he learned a classic film of his was to be remade. He donned the mask of the film's villain, Clayface, and killed several of the remake's cast and crew. Later, Karlo joined a collection of villains who used the name Clayface. Before the gang was defeated, Karlo injected himself with the essences of several of his allies, becoming a superhuman with the abilities to change shape, melt others into protoplasm, and mimic the powers of heroes or villains. Nasty, nasty. And his statistics. His real name is Basil Karlo. His occupation is former actor, professional criminal. And his base of operations is mobile. So I guess he's transient. He's a person of no fixed address.
Alabama.
That was random. His first appearance was in Detective Comics number 40 in June 1940. His special skills, he can adopt the physical form of anyone or anything. If those whose appearance he adopts have superpowers, he copies those as well. And his touch can reduce an enemy to protoplasm. Holy shit. What is protoplasm? I may have to go on Wiki and look that up. I don't know. Sounds a little bit scary to me. At any rate, on the other side, who have we got here on the other side? Hey, it's the Red Tornado. I like him. He's cool. Anyways, there we have the look at the box for our Fists of Clay 2-pack. So what we're going to do is we're going to bust this open. We're going to look at Clayface and Batman Maybe in that order, maybe not. It's kind of one or the other. At any rate, we'll be back in a second. All right, we're back. I've dug these figures out of their packaging, and through process of very scientific process, I've decided that we're gonna look at skid mark Batman first. That's right. How much did he pay to get all of those? Anyways, so we'll look at this figure first. Now, I should point out that I'm sure there's someone out there who's gonna say, you know what, it's just a repaint or a reuse of an older Batman mold. And that may be the case. However, this is my first and thus far only DCUC Batman figure, besides Azrael Batman, but that's someone else entirely. So I don't have a whole lot of anything to compare it to in that respect. So, I mean, as far as I know, this is just the Batman figure that I have. So we'll have a look at him. You can look all the way around. He's got the black cape, which is, I guess, good because it's that. I never liked the gray and blue look for Batman. I like the gray and black better. So, in terms of this figure, I think maybe we'll start with the sculpt. And the cape is that hard kind of plastic that I think Michael Keaton had way back in that 1980s Batman movie. You can use it as a crutch there. But we can see it's got the folds in it, which is nice. And actually, I don't mind it being a little bit harder because I would expect Batman's cloak or cape or whatever to be a little bit heavier than just a piece of fabric. And we can see it comes up here to the neck. And it is a separate piece, which is kind of nice. It's not just kind of made out of one mold. And we can see if we lift up the back here, I don't know how well we can see it, we can see the plug where it goes in, because a lot of the figures, they have that hole in the middle of their back, and they just plug it with something, because I don't have too many caped figures. So it's interesting that it was a separate piece. Somebody had a fun time trying to reef this over his stupid head here. But it looks alright. And for the head itself, I mean, it looks pretty good. Now again, I don't know if this is the way just the standard Batman sculpt looks. But we've got, you know, the solid manly chin there. We've got the little ears. We can even see like the furrow in his brow because he's all pissed off because somebody ate a big can of beans and then took a crap in his toilet and he had to clean it. That's right, I'm not going to stop with those jokes, at least while we're looking at Batman either. So, in terms of the other design, well, you know what? We've got the little, I don't know what the hell to call these. Anyways, the pointy bits on his gauntlets, on his gloves here. I don't know what that is on his arm. For most of the body, you know what? Just like we keep saying, it's a standard DCU-C figure. All the way down to the fact that he wears his underpants on the outside. I've never quite understood that. And the boots and the feet, you know, it's the same thing. All pretty much exactly the same. So, now in terms of the coloring, we'll talk about the most obvious part in a second. But, you know, it's kind of what I would expect from Batman. He's the gray and black. I never liked the bat emblem having the yellow on it. I know it's kind of a staple, but I do like just the solid black bat. That I don't know when they first started doing that. I think it actually goes way back, and it gets used for a while, and then they stop, and it gets used for a while, and then it stops. So the other main thing on this Batman, of course, is the fact that this is the result of eating lots and lots of Taco Bell. Oh, that's right, he made a run for the border, and he didn't make it. Oh, I smell bad. I know. I understand they needed to put in a generic figure to put with Clayface. And so they went, hey, Clayface fights Batman. So let's take a Batman, make it look like he's covered in shit, and market that. Now I understand it's supposed to be mud, he's fighting Clayface and whatnot. It looks horrible. It's like one of those crappy battle damage figures you see sometimes where they just put little black marks on them. I think they did that with an Optimus Prime, and it looked stupid. We don't need it, but I guess, you know, they gotta make the Batman look a little bit different, because I'm positive there's another Batman that's exactly the same. Just without the septic tank look to him. So the other thing I want to point out about this figure, before we get into some of the standard stuff, is he does have this Batarang, which I've got in his hand here. Now, I think I accidentally pulled those little rubber band doodads off, so I tried to put it back in there. Whoops. Because I figure once this Batarang leaves his hand, it will never be found again. Although, actually, let's see if I can get rid of that, because it looks like it'll hold in there pretty well. The Batarang is a soft plastic, which is actually kind of nice, because then you can kind of reef it in his hand, and I think it'll stay there, like he's about to throw it at Clayface over there, because this is one of the electrified ones, because that's the only thing that'll stop, you know, butt stain over there. Now actually, before I get into the articulation, which I do want to get into, one thing I should point out is that the whole figure, the plastic feels like it's a softer grade of plastic. Like the plastic is a little bit cheaper than some of the other DCUC figures. And again, it's probably because it's just like, hey, let's reuse Batman. And so they just kind of put together whatever crap plastic they can find and they dump it in there. So it's not bad for the cape. I mean, it's like a nice soft plastic. Where I really dislike it is in the legs. I just worry that this thing isn't going to stand up too well. But where it is nice is that he has it for his head as well. And you can hear it kind of squeak a little bit when you move his head. And that I don't mind because it means, to me, it strikes me as though it'll be able to hold its shape longer. I have some figures where you can hold him by the head and spin his whole body around. And I don't think that'll happen with good old Bruce here, which is kind of nice. Now, for the articulation, it is more or less your standard DCUC figure. We can rotate his head all the way around. It can move up and down a little bit. We can rotate the arm. Now, again, the cape is going to get in the way a little bit at the shoulder, but that's okay. We can go up, down. We can rotate at the bicep. We can bend the elbow, and we can rotate his hand at the wrist. He's got that middle piece, so he can look way back, like, oh my god, I ate too much, talk, oh my god. And then, you know, the whoops, I crap my pants Batman pose. Alfred is not going to be happy at the end of this night. We can rotate his waist all the way around. Aren't there supposed to be undergarments for that? Whoops, I crap my pants. Or is that something I took from SNL? I can't remember. Anyways, the leg goes out and we can go forwards and backwards. We can rotate the leg here at the thigh. We can bend the knee. And then, of course, we can bend his ankle there. One thing I also like to point out was, as we look here, you can see there on his hip joint, you can see it looks like a little bit is missing. And I don't know how that happened. It's not, well, actually it looks just about as crappy on the other side too. I don't know what happened there. Again, it looks like it's just really crappy production values on these ones, or on this figure in particular. Crappy plastic, crappy paint application. No pun intended. Well, yeah, I'll say no pun intended this time. And I don't know, I just totally not thrilled. They needed to use another Batman figure. And this is what we have. So, I think that's our look at Batman. Now, if I were to give Batman a grade, and I do like Batman, you know what, I'll give this one a B-. And it's just because I like Batman. I really like the way his head sculpt works and how it looks like it's gonna stay decently solid. The mud stain application is just stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I just don't think it's necessary. I know they need to give another Batman and they try to make it more like he's fighting Clayface, but it's just silly to me. And some of the plastic just doesn't feel that good. So maybe there is a better Batman figure out there from this series and I'll have to find it at some point. So, B- for the Bat. Now the other figure from this set, which to me was the one that made it worth getting. I saw this at one of my buddy's places and he was raving about it. And so I had to get it too. Of course, it's Clayface. Now I only know Clayface from the animated series. And I don't think his name was Basil Carlo or whatever the hell they call him here. It was something else. But we can have a quick look. I mean, it's the same lumpy pile of silly putty that he is. We can look all the way around. The sculpt on this thing is amazing. Someone spent a whole lot of time just to make him look like literally a lump of crap. I wonder if he's related to Mr. Hanky. That's right, I used a South Park reference there too. Anyways, now I know I should be shot. But the sculpt, again, is absolutely amazing, especially on the arms and the hands. I really like the hands on him. He's got the kind of the claws, but you can see he's not quite forming them too well. He's got that whole... This is how he is when he's relaxed, because he can take on the form of other guys, right? But I think the whole point was that he can only maintain it for so long, and this is just the turd that he turns into when he can't. So the mold is awesome. I mean, even down to his feet even just look like that. They're just kind of legs with... It pools at the bottom because he's put his weight on it. He's not even really trying to form feet, which is kind of nice. We got that on the back too. And on the top, we can even see here that it looks like it's crap lumped on top of more clay. I should probably say clay because, you know, I don't think he's supposed to be fecal matter. But I could be wrong. Anyways, who knows what he's picked up when he's going through the sewers and stuff. Yeah, leave me alone. Now, his coloring is pretty good, but if you look at it, we can see, you know, the torso and the legs and the head are pretty much the same color. He's got the yellow eyes in there, and I guess these are supposed to be teeth, which is funny because he can't form feet, but he forms teeth. I guess it helps him talk. There might be a tongue in there somewhere, too, but I can't quite see. Anyways, the arms are made of a different material, and we'll talk about more about the arms in a second because I think that is significant and worthy of speaking about on their own. But they are a different shade of brown, and they both are like that. And the reason for that is, I guess we'll talk about the arms, is the arms, besides rotating here at the shoulder, so we're doing a little bit of the articulation right now, They're made of that soft rubber that has the, I don't want to say pipe cleaner, but that kind of soft metal wire in it that allows for movement. So we can move that however we want, to a certain degree anyway. Now I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous about these because we've all seen these kind of figures before, like Gumby. I guess that's probably maybe the best example of that. And eventually the wire breaks on the inside and he's like, and he just doesn't work right anymore. So I don't think I'm going to be moving the arms too much past what I do just for this video. And even then, I don't even want to bend it too much. Same thing with the other side. Now this other arm is actually kind of cool because for whatever reason, on his left arm we've got the little spiky doodads. Like he was just trying to copy Batman and he went, I give up, and that's as far as he got. But even the hands, the arms are different. Like they molded different arms. I'm so impressed with this. I think he's got the same number of digits on both arms. Yep, but they're different. One's a little bit bigger than the other. This one's got the spiky stuff on it. And you can tell they didn't just make one arm and then replicate it for the other side. They made two separate ones. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, in terms of articulation, we can move his head. Not really a whole lot. I don't think it's going to move too much more than that. Up a little bit, down, but that's okay. He's got that joint in the middle, so he can look like, I just ate a whole lot of beans, and now I'm gonna fart in Batman's direction. I know. I gotta stop doing that, but I can't help it. It looks like Batman's covered with crap. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, there we go. Oh, I did lose my train of thought. Now, this part here, it looks like there should be a joint. Ugh, but it doesn't move. And if I'm not careful, I'll end up breaking it. But it does look like, oh, there we go, I did it. Hopefully it's not broken. We do have articulation at the waist. It's just really flippin' solid. Not anymore. But we can rotate it waist-wise, but there's really no point. He just looks kind of stupid like that. Like he's got this thing there, like he's going to rest his coke on his hip or something. Look at me. Anyways, put that back. His legs do move, and they do go up a little bit, like the standard kind of joint we'd expect on a DCUC figure, but his little meat curtain underwear pants thing kind of prevents it from going any further than that, which he doesn't really need to. He's not known for doing kick-ass ninja moves. Oh, the leg does rotate a little bit. I imagine it would go all the way around, but I'm a little bit nervous about trying it. The knee does bend. Oh, jeebus, there we go. And then we can rotate his foot. Oh, it even rotates at the ankle. I didn't realize that before. And then we can bend it forwards and backwards. And actually, that's really good. Having that amount of articulation on his feet is excellent. Well, I guess it could be bad too, but it's excellent because it gives him a lot of room to move his legs to try to stand him up because he's so top-heavy. So that's kind of nice. On the flip side, though, the more joints there are, the more movement there is. Eventually, these things will become loose, and then standing him up will more or less be a lost cause. And we said for the arms, they can rotate. They can move. I think they can move out a little bit. No, maybe not. No, they don't. At least I'm not going to try it. And again, because of that wire on the inside, we can move them around a fair bit. So he is very, very cool. I'm liking Clayface. So, if I were to give Clayface a grade, Clayface gets a grade of A+. He is excellent. He's going to be one of those ones that gets displayed proudly with some of my other favorite DCUC figures because he is just awesome. The mold is epic. The gimmick is not that bad as far as gimmicks go, and I do worry about the soft rubber because eventually it splits and it breaks, and I hope he stays good, so I'm not going to muss around with it too much more than I already have. Given the fact that he's a big lump, his articulation is pretty good, and again, he's not going to do anything too dynamic, but he just looks excellent. And again, a lot of the soft plastic, you can tell they just kind of mound plastic on top of plastic. Even this thing moves a little bit. It's a separate piece, which is just awesome. So, he gets an A+ because he is awesome. He's one of the best individual figures I think I've seen. I really do like Clayface. I always liked him as a character, so having an excellent figure that wasn't a Build-A-Figure. I almost thought they'd make him into a Build-A-Figure or something. It's just wicked. So if we take him and then, whoops, I crapped my pants, Batman, as a whole, how would I grade the whole set? Well, Batman was a B-, and Clayface here was an A+. You know what? I'm going to average this out to, in total, an A- for the set. He is the one you buy it for, because he's awesome. This is the thing you get with it, which is marginally okay. But here's who you buy it for. So the set, we'll say A- as a combination of the two. Clayface here is definitely worth picking up, depending on especially how much you get it for. The Batman, if you already have one, you're probably less inclined, but you have to get the Batman if you want the Clayface, because not too many people are gonna get the Batman and put the Clayface on eBay. I wouldn't think, at least I wouldn't. At any rate, we're running just past, I don't know, probably getting close to 20 minutes on this video now. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. So stay tuned, we'll have more figure reviews coming up. Thank you very much, and class is dismissed.